2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
Let me tell you, the response to the show has been absolutely amazing. People can't believe that a young conservative millennial continues to fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and talks about issues that some are even afraid to talk about. But we do it because we understand the importance of this. And now we're seeing it absolutely blow up all across the nation.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yes, indeed. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. It is a Wednesday, and wow. That's really all I can say is wow. If you watched the debate of course you watched the debate last night, because we're political dorks and that's what we do, and we love watching. Now again, it's not a debate, it was a kind of a circus. At the same time, I understand. Welcome into the show. We have a lot to get to today, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here on the flagship station in Wichita, Kansas, all over the country on radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Make sure to follow us all over on our social media at Hooser Reason on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, which we have the video streaming going up right now. Also on our website at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletter as that's coming out here at the end of the week or early next week. Not quite sure which one. We have a few more that have signed up over the last couple days, so maybe we'll give you a couple extra days to sign up if you want to do so, to get the monthly newsletter, talk about the blog, all the podcasting, everything that's going on there. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Big show for you. I'm excited. This is they couldn't have laid out perfectly for a post-debate discussion, as at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be chatting with Corey Lewandowski. He is a senior Trump advisor for the political campaign, also author of the book Trump America First. So we'll chat with him live coming up here at the bottom of the hour. And right now, I'm excited. My question to you is, first off, what do you think of the debate? You can leave me comments. You can email me, HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. What do you think of the debate? Was it something that you would want to watch again for a second and third time, as we have two more debates lined up for the presidents? We have the vice presidential debate next week. But overall, not just the debate, but the last 4 years, the record, how you think Trump's done, which is why I think Trump has a 95 to 98% approval rating within the Republican Party. How we've been able to handle the COVID-19 virus, how we've been able to get the economy back up and going. Overall, where in your mind does Trump land on the spectrum of presidents that we've seen throughout history? Is he near the top? Is he in the middle? Is he near the very bottom? Obviously, it's a very partisan issue. If you hate Trump, then he's the worst evil guy that you despise on the face of the earth. If you love Trump, then he's obviously up there near Ronald Reagan and some of the most conservatives. But should it be political? Should it be partisan? And on the spectrum of where many different presidents rank, I think we should have that conversation. So I'm excited to have on the program today. He's author of the book Rating America's Presidents and America First, to look at who is best, who is overrated, and who was an absolute disaster. I'm excited to have on the program Robert Spencer with us here today. Robert, how are you, my friend?
Hey, just great. How are you?
I am living the dream, and I appreciate you very much for coming on the show. Let's talk about, first off, the debate last night. Now, a debate run for president really isn't a debate. It's more of a show. It's more of who can do the one-line zingers, who can bring a little bit of content, but then be very flashy, be very personable, and show their character. Because nowadays, running for president's kind of a celebrity status, isn't it? So last night, was it what we kind of expected, or did it even take it to a whole new level?
Yeah, last night was a whole new level. It was kind of amazing, but really, in a certain sense, it was indeed everything that we could expect. Biden was fumbling, and he threw his own supporters under the bus, and Trump was aggressive on the attack. A lot of people hitting him for that, but I think he had to do that because it was, as he has pointed out, 2 against 1. Chris Wallace was viciously biased. It made my jaw drop when he's pressing Trump about the so-called white supremacists, and the Proud Boys aren't even white supremacists anyway. And as Trump was trying to point out, although he was frequently interrupted, the white supremacists are not burning down cities. The leftists are burning down cities, and the reality is that Wallace didn't ask Biden to condemn Antifa or Black Lives Matter, who are the real violent group.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. What I find troubling with the whole thing, which is why, at first I didn't like Trump interrupting so much. Then I kind of processed it, and I let it set a little bit, and I mulled over the debate after it was all done. And I realized that there was not a single truth that Joe Biden had said throughout the entire debate. It was flat out, like, not even trying to, like, fluff up a half lie just to try and use a political agenda. It was bold-faced, flat-out lies right to our face. And the moderator wasn't calling him out on it. I know he said that he wasn't going to fact-check, but at the same time, if there's a blatant lie, then you should call out and say, wait a second, that's not true. Let's try to correct your thoughts here, or correct your statement if you want to. So Donald Trump, you're right, was really debating two people by saying, first off, Joe Biden, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're lying. And Chris Wallace, you're asking me really dumb questions. That question about civil unrest was really, I think, or about racism, was completely off the wall anyways, because when they had mentioned, well, you said there was good people on both sides, they took that completely out of context and shouldn't even been part of the conversation. But yet here we are, and he had to try and defend himself on a record that he didn't even say, and then go after the left with Antifa, and I thought he did a great job with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really ludicrous how, it's the Green New Deal, for example. Yeah. Biden says he doesn't support the Green New Deal. I was at his website earlier today, and his support for the Green New Deal is right there. It's explicit, it's clear, and it's still on his website today.
Yeah, blatant lies.
Yeah.
Blatant lies. Well, let's talk about, I'm curious as to Donald Trump, the president, where he falls on this list of ranking American presidents. I mean, he talks that when it comes to minorities and helping minority communities, that there's only one above him in helping minority communities as president, which is Abraham Lincoln. He talks that he's going to be one of the great presidents just behind someone like George Washington that really established a lot of things. He talks a lot of game, and obviously his supporters like it. His opponents don't like it. But when it comes to rating some of the presidents and what they did in their administrations, how they operated, how they ran their administration, where do you think Trump's going to fall on this when we look at historians, 100 years down the road?
Well, I think that Trump is going to be remembered as one of the greatest American presidents because he put America first, and this is a principle that every president should have kept front and center, but as a matter of fact, they have not. We've had decades now of internationalists drifting us into socialism, into the decline of the country, and Trump has turned all that around. And people that don't give him credit now because we're still in the thick of it, the internationalists and socialists are more aggressive than ever, and consequently it's anybody's guess as to how this is going to come out. But if America survives as a free society, then I think Trump is going to be hailed in future generations.
Now, why do you think that? Is it just because of the things that he's been able to get done and accomplish? I mean, he has been one of the most active presidents, I think, in a very long time. He's whether you agree with the agenda or not, the fact that he's been able to do it between deregulations, between doing tax cuts, between repealing parts of Obamacare. I mean, he's been very active as president and actually got a lot done. There's a lot more that he wants to do, but is that part of it, or is it just because he's been able to maintain and unite the base of the Republican Party?
Well, the Republican Party, I don't know, it's pretty split as far as I'm concerned. It looks like there are quite a few still in the Romney wing, in the McCain, Bush, watery Democrat group. The thing that Trump is really remarkable about is that he has withdrawn us from a lot of very damaging international agreements that saw our jobs going out to China and Mexico. He's withdrawn us from the ridiculous Paris Climate Accord that he was trying to explain last night, holds the U.S. accountable for all sorts of economic self-abnegation while China has to do nothing. And he, of course, has restored some semblance of control at the border and a great deal more as well. It's all actually enumerated in the book. What he's done is essentially reassert the principle that the primary job of the President of the United States is to look out for the welfare of Americans, make sure that Americans are safe, strong, prosperous, and that he does not have the same kind of responsibility for the rest of the world. A lot of his predecessors, you have to say, it seemed as if they were more concerned about the well-being of people in other countries and devoting American resources to helping out people in those other countries rather than dealing with the people in the United States. While our infrastructure is crumbling, poverty is an increasing problem, and so on. Although, of course, the poverty is a problem. If you look in the book under Lyndon Johnson, you'll see how it was some of the less cherished policies that made poverty an ongoing problem in the United States.
Well, sure. I mean, when infrastructure is crumbling, when things are falling apart, then that just gives them more opportunity to, quote unquote, take care of individuals through social programs. So it fit the agenda appropriately. And as you talk about the aid to other countries and looking more for other countries rather than us here on the home front, you wouldn't happen to be talking about someone like Barack Obama, would you?
Yeah, absolutely, I would be. And not only that. I mean, not only do we have socialism, the internationalism, the decline of the United States, but it seems as if it was not just by accident for Obama. It was his actual policy. The reality is that Barack Obama in 2008 was photographed several times reading avidly the book The Post-American World by Fareed Zakaria. And Fareed Zakaria's book essentially says that America must be weakened politically, militarily, and economically for the rest of the world to be able to prosper. And what did Obama do? It was not America weakened politically, militarily, and economically. It seems to be what he set out to do and what he accomplished. So he was just the opposite of a president who was good for Americans.
We got a few minutes left here before we have to let you go, but as we talk about some of this, I mean, where does Barack Obama fall on the spectrum? Is it near towards the bottom? And who else is around him on the spectrum, according to you? Is it somewhere near the FDR and the Jimmy Carter era? Did he go above some of that? Did he drop below some of that? I mean, where did Barack Obama fall in this scale?
Barack Obama gets a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10, and there are others who get that. Jimmy Carter is 1. Roosevelt actually gets a 1, Franklin Roosevelt. He had a disastrous administration that was bad for America in many ways, but he was inspirational during the war and so on. And so that's one thing. And so Woodrow Wilson gets a 0. Some of the pre-Civil War presidents who did nothing to try to head off the crisis, James Buchanan, Franklin Pierce, they're down there as well.
Sure.
So it's not just contemporary presidents who are bad, although we have had a pretty bad run of them in the last few decades.
Sure. We got about a minute left before we have to let you go. But your thoughts on Donald Trump with the re-election? I mean, with him being an excellent president in your mind, do you think enough people are going to remember that and see that going into the polls in November? Or is it going to be kind of a delayed effect where the historians are going to be like, wow, he's actually pretty great?
I think it's much more likely to be a delayed effect, whether or not he's reelected. But this is a showdown in November for the soul of the United States. I can't overstate that. I go through every election in this book and show why each president got elected. And there's never been so much at stake as there is in 2020 with the question of whether we're going to return to this post-World War II world order of socialism and internationalism, or whether we're going to start to look out for our own nation first. If we don't, then it could be the end of America as a free society. This is no exaggeration, because the Democrats are multiply on record saying they're in various ways against the freedom of speech and against the Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Robert Spencer. Rating America's Presidents is the latest book. Make sure to go and check that out, because you know what? We have one that's doing pretty darn good here in office already, and one that's tied to one that didn't do so well that's trying to run for office again. Robert, we appreciate the time very much, my friend. We'd love to get you back on the show again here real soon.
Call me anytime. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Always good to chat with you. We'll take a break. We got a lot to get to today as well. Corey Lewandowski joining us bottom of the hour as well, as we try and roll through a Wednesday with some of this post-debate coverage right here on The Voice of Reason. It's a Wednesday. Stick right here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on The Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yes, you are. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. It's a Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Radio, TV, live streaming, wherever you may be. Appreciate Robert Spencer coming on the show. Great interview, great chat, and ranking Donald Trump near the top of some of the greatest presidents that this country has seen. So his talk is ego, according to the media, is spot on. I know some of those aren't liking that, right? Coming up now, I just had a phone call, and we missed it because I was on the air, obviously. So I tried to call him back during the break. Corey Lewandowski called my personal cell. Just kind of crazy. So we tried to call him back to let him know. Hopefully he's still good to go for the bottom of the hour. If not, that's all right. We'll try and get him rescheduled. Tomorrow, we have Mark Lauder as well. He is the head communications director for the Trump campaign. So between Corey Lewandowski, who's kind of Trump's right-hand man, was the campaign manager in 2016. Now he's a senior advisor for the Trump campaign. He'll be on. Mark Lauder on tomorrow. We kind of are bringing in the awesome guests right now, so it's awesome to talk to them and get their thoughts, especially with what's going on after this debate. And I tell you, again, I had to process a little bit last night. I was angry and a bit frustrated because everybody was kind of in shock, and I was like, Trump just was too harsh. Too harsh. Step back and let Joe Biden shoot himself in the foot. But what I realized afterwards was that Trump was just calling out the lies. Again, I've never seen somebody bold-faced lies in one debate. Not even trying to like fluff it up or make it sound pretty or like use a half-truth or a half-lie sort of thing. No, it was just flat-out lie. When Donald Trump said your son Hunter Biden received $3.5 million from Russia, and Joe Biden said, that's not true, that's a lie. Really? Because we literally have documented proof of wire transfers going into Hunter Biden's account. Like, we have the actual documented paperwork showing wire transfers from Russia to his bank account with his name on it. So how can you deny that? When he tries to say, Donald Trump, you abused the tax system that you created, you did these Trump tax cuts, and then you used it and abused it so you didn't have to pay as much taxes. Anybody, why didn't, and again, Trump, not being the master debater, he was just kind of angry, but not angry, but he was just frustrated with the whole process, where he should have said, that was, I got those tax returns and I paid that tax before those even took effect. That was under the Obama tax code, not mine. Bold-faced lies. And the moderator, Chris Walsh, didn't call it out. And Joe Biden got off with it because the media is not going to talk about it because they're going to talk about how much of a bully that Donald Trump actually is. That's the only thing they're going to talk about this entire time. And that's what's frustrating. Then it was the whole Proud Boys thing, which, again, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Why was that question even asked when it comes to racism? They could have asked Donald Trump, you've been accused of being a racist. What's your response? Donald Trump, you've been accused of not liking minorities. What's your response? Not, you said one time that white supremacists were good people. Which, again, does anybody even care to look it up? We have information overload in today's age. You could Google, you could YouTube a single incident and have 100 documents and articles and actual video footage of these things right at your fingertips. Does anybody even half pay attention to this stuff anymore? Is it just so overwhelming you don't want to pay attention to it? Because that's not what he said. They asked him about the violence at the protest, and he said that most people were peaceful on both sides and that there were good people, meaning peaceful people, on both sides of that rally in Charlottesville. Not their ideology, not what they stood for, not what they were believing in, but their actions at the rally. They were peaceful and there were good people doing good things. Again, not their ideology, what they were trying to protest for, but how they acted, how they actually handled themselves in public at that rally. There were good people on both sides. Does anybody care to even go and listen to that anymore? Or are we just going to go off the narrative that Donald Trump, you're a racist, and you said that white supremacists are good people, and will you denounce them? And they said he didn't. He announced it, and he addressed it today, actually, as he was on his way to Minnesota for a rally this afternoon, and he was walking to Air Force One to go to that rally. So we'll play that audio a little bit later as well on his thoughts with that. We'll do that when we come back. Plus, Corey Lewandowski will be joining us here in just a few minutes. It's the Voice of Reason. Stay with us.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of the Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
when reason meets radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
You're darn right you are. Welcome back into the show. All over the country, radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Thanks for hanging out. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. It's the Voice of Reason. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Make sure to visit us online at HooserReason.com. I'm excited, so I don't want to waste any more time. The last time I talked to this guy was a few years back, actually, when he was in the Wichita area. And we got to meet him in person, chat with him. I'm a big fan of his. He is the co-author with David Bossie of the new book, Trump America First. He is a senior advisor on the Trump campaign 2020 as well. It's the man himself, Mr. Corey Lewandowski, hanging out with us here. Corey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
It is a day in America today. The president has once again showed that he is going to fight every single day so that we can do one thing and one thing only. It's put America first, which happens to be the name of my book. And so I'm proud to have the chance to. I'm going to spend a few minutes with the president here in about an hour, and we're going to talk through the debate. And we're going to talk through how he continues to fight for average Americans every single day.
I love it. I love it. I tell you what, you're absolutely right. He was feisty beyond belief last night, and I realized why. At first, I was a little put off by all the interruptions on both sides, but I realized that President Trump didn't have anybody calling out the lies. I've never seen so many bold-faced lies right to our face from Joe Biden, and the moderator obviously didn't want to call him out and say that, you know what, when they were blaming Trump for his taxes and that was under Trump's tax codes, which obviously weren't the case, when he didn't believe in the Green New Deal, when he didn't have law enforcement supporting him, when he didn't want to try and shut down Antifa, he wasn't called out on any of it, and Trump had to do it because the American people need to know this stuff.
Yeah, but look, you got to remember, last night was a 2-on-1, which in Donald Trump's world, that's like baby talk, okay?
Yeah.
Usually it's 10-on-1 with this guy, right? It's 10 media guys all against Donald Trump. Last night was a mere 2-on-1, and I put my money on Donald Trump, who I like to call the Rocky Marciano of politics, the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. And if you want to take a shot at the title, you better come prepared. Sleepy Joe wasn't prepared. Chris Wallace wasn't prepared. Donald Trump was prepared.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Now, everybody set such a low standard for Joe Biden. If he at least survives and doesn't stutter too much, if he doesn't get lost in his own thoughts, if he doesn't like croak on the stage, then it's a win. And that's what the media is reporting today. But I mean, come on, if we're running for president of the United States, that's a pretty low standard to set. And I guess he kind of survived, but he didn't survive anything from what Trump gave to him, did he?
Look, the president once again demonstrated why he's going to fight every day for the American people. And what we do know for sure is that he's going to continue to fight, okay? And here's where the president is. It's so simple, right? It's so simple. This guy has a record of accomplishment over the last 4 years, which is unparalleled to most presidents in 8 years. That being said, he can do more, whether it's rebuilding our military, okay, whether it is cutting new trade deals so that Americans are put first, whether it is taking our throats that have been strangled by government regulation and deregulating the government. Everything this president has been able to do in 4 years, Joe Biden has wished he's been able to accomplish in the last 47.
Well, and I'm glad that Trump called him out on that, too, for the last couple of years. In 47 months, I've done more than what you've done in 47 years, and that was absolutely beautiful, and it was a nice knock that Biden wasn't able to come back from it all. Let's talk about the race thing for a second. They tried to corner Trump on, I think, absurd, ridiculous comments that didn't even need to be brought up because they were taken completely out of context, and they tried to label him as a white supremacist and a racist. I saw a poll today from Newsweek where, according to Telemundo and the Spanish-speaking station, 66% of Spanish-speaking Americans thought that Trump won the debate last night. That's a bit of a different mindset than what we've seen usually, where the African Americans and the Hispanics just absolutely hate Trump.
Well, look, here's the difference. Joe Biden has, and Donald Trump said this last night, he may be the worst person in modern history for the way he has treated black people, the way he's treated the African-American people. He's talked a good game, but the truth is Donald Trump has delivered. When you look at the First Step Act, when you look at the fact that Donald Trump has allowed people who have been disproportionately targeted for nonviolent crimes to be let out of jail. You look at economic empowerment zones. You look at what he's done for historical black colleges and universities. You look at the way he has promoted people in his own administration, right? Joe Biden talks that he's great, but when it comes right down to it, he did call African-American males predators from the Senate floor. He did give the eulogy at the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan's funeral 10 years ago in West Virginia. He did tell a reporter, an African-American reporter, what are you on, crack? He did all of these things. And then, of course, he told Charlemagne de God that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
No.
Remember all those things? That was Joe Biden, not Donald Trump.
Well, that, and then, of course, the kid's rubbing his hairy legs in the pool, which, of course, is a turnoff as well. Or
he's got that gangster called Corn Pop, right, that he's been, hanging around with me. Look, Joe Biden doesn't even know what town he's in half the time. Last night, if you believe this, was the first time since he's been running for president that he did not sleep in his own bed. That's not an exaggeration. This guy's been hiding in his hometown every day. He hasn't gone anywhere, and he's still afraid to answer questions from the press. Every question that he has gotten over the last, 5 months has been scripted or he's been on the teleprompter. Donald Trump has been in the fight every day asking for your vote.
Oh, amen to that. And now, he's even traveling to Minnesota today, I hear, for his rally as well, which is going to be huge. People showing up to that. Let's talk about some of the election going in for the next couple of months here. Some of the swing states. I'm seeing Minnesota, that's deep blue, going into a potential swing state right now and going as a toss-up. We see, I think, locked in for the state of Ohio, locked in for the state of Pennsylvania, locked in for the state of Florida. Is that what you guys are seeing internally as well right now?
Well, look, I'm in Minnesota right now. I know what's going on the ground here in Minnesota. Donald Trump is going to be the first Republican candidate since Richard Milhous Nixon to carry the state of Minnesota in 1972. Even the great Ronald Reagan didn't carry Minnesota in 84, an election where he won 49 states. He didn't carry this one. Donald Trump is going to carry it. Donald Trump is going to carry New Hampshire, where he lost by just under 2,800 votes last time. And Donald Trump is going to carry Nevada, where he lost by just under 28,000 votes. So, look, we're expanding our map every day. Donald Trump has a record of promises he's made and promises that he has kept. And when the dust settles on Election Day or shortly thereafter, we're going to see that Donald Trump has won by a larger electoral margin than he did in 2016. This is not going to be close. Remember, the media told us Hillary Clinton was going to get 350 electoral votes. Well, guess what? She didn't even make the 270 marker. Donald Trump was at 306. You add in what we're talking about now, and we are in for a rout that has only been seen since the Reagan reelect.
No, I completely agree. We're talking with Corey Lewandowski, author of the book Trump, America First. We got just a couple minutes left. I know you have to run because you're getting excited for this big rally tonight, but you're in the state right now. Do you think that the civil unrest that we're seeing, the defunding of the police, I know that Minneapolis tried to do it and 17% of their real estate went up for sale in the next week because they were concerned about defunding of law enforcement. The civil unrest that's going on, the Democrats have tried to embrace it, but then at the same time keep it at arm's length away from them. This is only helping Donald Trump in this movement, isn't it? That's going to even swing, I think, Wisconsin to you guys after the whole incident that happened in Kenosha.
Well, look, it's very clear. Every person in America, whether you're a suburban mom, an urban mom, whether you're a white, black, green, orange, or purple, deserves safety and security, first at their place of where they live, also at their place of business, at their place of worship, and at their schools. But if you listen to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're okay with anarchy. They're okay with paying for these individuals who are causing this bedlam to get out of the jails after they're being arrested. Donald Trump, by contrast, stands with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line. And look, as a former law enforcement officer in the state of New Hampshire, I know firsthand the president's commitment. And that's why when the president talked about this last night, he asked Joe Biden, which endorsements do you have from any law enforcement agency in America? And Joe Biden couldn't come up with one because every single one is supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You are in Minnesota. Last question before we let you go, because I know you have to run, but what are you expecting for the rally tonight? Are they trying to put a kibosh to you guys or trying to limit the stadium? I know that Trump, when he shows up, people show up as well. And are there any issues going on as you guys get ready for this rally tonight?
Look, I'll tell you this. I've been traveling now with the president a lot, and we're doing more and more of these airport rallies where the big plane pulls up behind him, and he's got these massive crowds, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and the excitement is getting more and more palatable. These governors want to stop the president, but the people don't care. The people know that they can come out and do these rallies with a safe opportunity, a safe environment. You wear a mask if you want to, if that's what the requirement is. You socially distance if you need to. But people want to see the leader of the free world because they're excited about it, and they're going to turn out on Election Day in just under 5 weeks.
Oh, but come on, Corey. President Trump is down in his bunker, and Joe Biden's out there campaigning all over the place. That's what he said in the debate last night.
I saw that. Look, Joe Biden got on the train today and literally, made 3 stops and thought that he just lit the world on fire. Donald Trump is doing 4, 5, and 6 stops a day is what he's doing.
Wow. I love it. It's Corey Lewandowski. We appreciate the time, my friend. I know you're such a busy guy. It's an honor to talk to you again. We got to get you back on the show again real soon, and good luck with the book. I know you guys are selling out like crazy with this book, aren't you?
I'm happy to do it. It's called Trump, America First. It's a great philosophy. It's his philosophy, and it's the name of our new book. Go to Amazon, everywhere bookstores. Books are selling. Books are being sold.
All over the place. Corey, we appreciate the time, my friend. We'll get you back on here soon.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, there we go. That's Corey Lewandowski, senior advisor for the Trump campaign, also author of the book Trump, America First. We appreciate the time with him very much. I mean, look how much time he gave us. Almost a 10-minute interview. He's right there at a rally in Minnesota trying to get everything ready. The right-hand man to the president, and he's about ready to meet with him in the next hour. I need to tell him, just be like, hey, one of these days you need to take the interview while you're sitting next to the president and just hand him the phone and say hi for a minute. So what we got to do, one of these days, we'll actually make that happen. We appreciate Corey Lewandowski coming on. I've been a big fan of his for a while. And if you ever meet him in person, nicest guy in the world. And that intensity that he brings on the radio is the intensity that he is actually in person as well. We got to take a break here in just a second. When we come back, I want to get your thoughts again on the debate with what happened last night. Plus, I want to talk about this race thing that they brought up and the response going forward as we continue to talk about the President Trump election and kind of what was talked about last night. And did Trump handle himself appropriately? Did he respond to things appropriately? Or did we have some things that happen at times is what Donald Trump really meant to say, where he couldn't quite articulate his message, which I think some of that happened a little bit last night as well. We'll take a break. Got lots more to get to here on the show. It's the Voice Reason for a Wednesday. Last segment left. It's hard to believe the show goes by way too fast. Make sure to find us all over HooserReason.com, podcasting all over the place, plus our radio and TV affiliates as well. It's the Voice Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. And I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. It is a Wednesday, wrapping up the show. Today goes by way too fast. Way too fast. We try and cram so much into this program, trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag, trying to rebrand this millennial generation, one radio listener at a time, trying to bring some common sense and reason back into politics. Thanks again to our guest today with Robert Spencer, along with Corey Lewandowski. Awesome. If you missed any of it or you want to hear it again, make sure to check out the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites with the Voice of Reason, and you can listen to it that way, as we've been killing it all over the country on that. Texas growing like a weed right now with a lot of downloads, so thank you for that down in there in Texas. We love you so much in Texas. So here's a headline for you as we recap. Donald Trump apparently not doing well, right? Losing the debate, being too just forward, trying to interrupt, being the jerk, bullying the old guy, whatever they want to say, that it was just a clown show, and it was to some degree. Let's be honest, it was frustrating. It's not a debate that I like because I'm more of a formal debater because, you have your allotted time, you have your rebuttals, you have a certain amount of time for X, Y, and Z. I like that, but again, you can't expect that from presidential debates. You can't. That's not what they do. They are personalities. You could have the smartest person in the world up there running for president, but if they don't bring character and they don't bring personality, they ain't going to win. I told you there's two things you need in politics, and that's a lot of money and a good PR team. And if you have that, then you can win whatever you want to, but you have to have character and personality. You have to be the celebrity status. What did Barack Obama do when he ran back in 2008? Hope and change. Hope and change. He was the slick, cool-looking guy. He was nice-looking in the suit. He was walking around with the cigarette or with the sunglasses. He was cool. And he didn't talk about policy. He talked about hope and change. Hope and change. And that was apparently going to solve America's issues, and everybody loved it. Everybody ate it up. Donald Trump does that. He knows how to play it. He knows the media game. He owns businesses. He knows how to advertise himself and actually do a good PR team. So Joe Biden doesn't have that. Why he's actually doing anything is just because of people despising Donald Trump. So after all of that, then I see the headline here from Newsweek. 66% of Spanish-speaking Americans in Telemundo poll think that Trump just won the debate. Let me read that again. Spanish-speaking Americans on Telemundo TV, Spanish TV, 66% of them thought that Donald Trump won the debate. Now, I thought all Spanish-speaking Americans absolutely despised Donald Trump because he's the evil racist that wanted to keep them out of the country. But yet maybe they still think that. They're like, oh, yeah, we don't like him, but at least he won the debate. Or he won the debate, we just don't like him very much. But the fact that they paid attention and they think he won, that's got to give him props for the Hispanic community, doesn't it? But I thought he's a racist. because he likes the Proud Boys, whatever the heck the Proud Boys are. He actually responded to that today. He was asked on his way to the plane or on the way to somewhere. He was outside. He was taking some questions, and he had talked about his comment about the Proud Boys and lining up and supporting white supremacists.
I don't know who the Proud Boys are. I mean, you'll have to give me a definition because I really don't know who they are. I can only say they have to stand down, let law enforcement do their work. Law enforcement will do the work more and more. As people see how bad this radical liberal Democrat movement is and how weak, the law enforcement's going to come back stronger and stronger. But again, I don't know who Proud Boys are, but whoever they are, they have to stand down, let law enforcement do their work.
Mr. President, in this speech when you said stand by, that's my first question.
Just stand by. Look, law enforcement will do their work. They're going to stand down. They have to stand down. Everybody. They have to stand, whatever group you're talking about, let law enforcement do the work. Now, Antifa is a real problem because the problem is on the left. And Biden refuses to talk about it. He refuses to issue the words law and order. You saw that last night when he choked up. He can't say the words because he'll lose the rest of the left. So he's got to condemn Antifa. Antifa is a very bad group.
And that's where the conversation should have been. When they talked about law enforcement, when they talked about civil unrest, when they talked about terrorism going on, or when they talked about the evil, terrible things going on in the country, it should have been revolved around Black Lives Matter, not the idea, but the organization, the movement that's actually happening along with Antifa. They are radical groups that are destroying America. And I don't know, I mean, you can talk about white supremacy all you want to, but when has white supremacy actually gone out and burned down a city? I mean, they're not good. We don't endorse them or support them in any way, shape, or form. They're radicals, same on the same side of the aisle, just in a different flavor and a different color, which is not okay because that idea of hate is wrong altogether. But if you want to talk about groups, why don't you talk about the ones that are actually out there doing terrible things right now, and that's not white supremacists. But the media won't focus on that. Donald Trump called it. He did beautifully with it, but it was an issue that he shouldn't even had to have addressed because he did not say that white supremacists were good people, and people that believe that are completely naive and ignorant when that information obviously is right there in front of your face. Got a lot more coming up tomorrow. Make sure to stay tuned in. Mark Alott are going to be joining us, campaign manager for communications for Trump's campaign. We'll be joined with him along with a lot more, so stay tuned in. Until then, be your own voice of reason. It's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. It's the Voice of Reason. Everybody have a great Wednesday. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.